What's good, everybody? It's John. I come back at you another video. So here in this video, I wanted to talk about success, right? And to have you understand that in order for you to succeed, sometimes you just have to be different. Sometimes you just need to operate differently, do things differently from the crowd of people. Because in life, there's a lot of people who try to keep up with the Joneses, right? Or people that just try to follow the crowd. They just see what everyone else is doing and they just try to follow in those footsteps. Typically, the route that they take is the quote unquote safe route, right? The traditional path that everyone decides to take. And people need to understand that that generally leads them to live the same life as everyone else. Now, there's nothing wrong with that if that's your dream, right? If that's your immediate goal, if you just want to get to that position because maybe you're in a position that's far behind the normal average life. That's entirely okay if that's what you want, right? I'm not here to knock or shame anyone, right? Like everyone has their own dreams, goals, and aspirations. And if that's your goal to live a normal average life, then that's perfectly fine. However, I know that there's people who are following my channel, been watching my videos, and been really supporting me. There's definitely those people who have big dreams, big goals, big aspirations. Those people that dream big, and those are the people who constantly find themselves watching my videos and are hungry for more information, hungry for more clues for what they can pick up to learn to try to help propel them forward. And I want this video to be for you to help you understand that sometimes in order for you to succeed, it just requires you to be different, to operate differently, to see things from a different perspective, and to do things in your own unique way. Now, I know from birth when we were raised, like going through school, right? We were put through a traditional educational system where you have to listen to the teacher and you have to do things, operate with a certain system, and everyone reads the same material, learn the same material all throughout. It's like a standardized like process. But when you get to the real world, now you're able to have more freedom and decide which direction you want to take your life. And from the knowledge that I've gathered and everything, I now understand that in order to succeed or get to where it is that you want to get to, right? If you have big dreams and aspirations, sometimes it requires you to be different because most people, they just live their lives, right? Keeping up with the Joneses. They just want to just do what everyone else is doing because they want to fit in. They don't want to stand out. They don't want to, they just, they just want to feel comfortable in their own space. Like they don't want to ever feel uncomfortable and decide to step into more and become more of a person because no one else is doing that, right? And so they're content with getting by just like everyone else. But if you're someone who wants to push the boundary and accomplish great things and shoot for the stars, then that requires you to operate differently. Right? I heard an interesting quote that is 100% entirely true, and it goes, the easiest way or the quickest way to guarantee yourself living an average life is by doing what everyone else is doing. And I'm here to explain to you what everyone else is doing. Everyone else is simply a consumer. That's it, right? Most people on this earth, most people here that live in the United States, right? Most people in the United States are simply consumers. When the new iPhone comes out, they have to be the first one in line to buy the new iPhone, even though it's no different than any previous version of the iPhone that they've owned, right? Whenever the new social media platform drops, they have to be the first one to download it. They have to be the first one to just scroll through it mindlessly, right? When the new fast food chain drops or the new fast food menu item comes out, they have to be the first one in line to try it and taste it, right? It's just, they're always operating from the consumer mindset that they're not actually thinking for themselves or creating, right? Because the biggest change that I've made in my life, I've transitioned from being a consumer to being a creator. And as a creator, what you're doing is you're tapping into your creative side, right? You're tapping into the side that's unique to you, right? You using your own imagination, your perspective to make something from thin air, right? These videos that I'm making for you guys, these ideas, these concepts, it started in my mind. And now I'm able to create something, right? I'm able to stand behind the camera and make something for you guys that otherwise didn't previously exist. And so because of that, right, I'll always be able to make something. And me making something can potentially in turn provide value to someone else and can make a difference in someone else's life or even the world. And when you get accustomed to spending more time creating, right, then you'll be more in tune with your true self. You'll generally be happier, and then you can effectively stand out and make something out of yourself or create something great that you'll own, that will belong to you, right? Most people aren't thinking that far. Most people aren't tapping into their creative side, which is their true self, right? Most people just operate as consumers and just do what they're told, right? Since being children, growing up, going to elementary school, right? You had to do what the teacher told you, right? You had to learn through the textbook of what material was given to you, right? You had to take standardized exams, right? It was just everyone ideally to get the same education, right? So that everyone could be thinking the same way. And sometimes you need to think differently. Sometimes you need to do things differently. Most people aren't actually creating, right? Most people are just consuming, right? They're mindlessly scrolling through social media, just looking at everything else of what other people are doing, what's going on in other people's lives, just gossiping, just doing all these things. It's like, when are people going to put that down and begin tapping into their true self? Whether that's making videos, whether that's cooking, whether that's, I don't know, helping people in their own way, right? Like, there's so much more that people can do and have or create in this lifetime if they just decided to focus and really tap in and accept that they're different, because you are. As much as you want to follow the crowd and not stand out, right, you're always going to be different because you're always going to share a unique perspective on life. You're always going to have your own unique opinions that is not going to be 100% in line with other people. Like, I don't think it's possible for you to share every single opinion, right? Because you can share the same opinion as someone, but you can like different foods, right? And that makes you unique from the next person. So you're always going to be unique. You're always going to be your own person, but yet in society it's sort of frowned upon for people to be different, right? And I'm here to tell you that there's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with doing things your way. Because then if you're doing things your way, chances are you'll be happier about what you're putting out because it's true to you, it's true to yourself. And then if you're unique, then what people find in you, they're not going to find in anyone else. So sometimes success just requires you being different. Sometimes it requires you to just see what the crowd is doing and say, you know what, I'm just going to operate differently from everyone else. I probably lost friends because I haven't kept up with sending text messages or just being on social media, liking their posts and sharing their stories and all that stuff. I know you can say I've lost friends because of that. But what I'm doing here, this is what makes me happy. This is what puts me at peace because I'm worried about myself and focus on what I'm doing here and building something great, something that I know that I can look back on and be proud of, that I decided to pursue because it's a worthwhile dream, it's a worthwhile goal. And I understand what the bigger picture is. I understand what I'm doing, what I'm working towards, because I have the end goal in mind and I can see that this impacts millions of people around the world. And this is making a difference in the lives of millions of people around the world. And I know what I'm sharing is the truth. And I know that this can help serve as a blueprint and help provide guidance to people who are searching for answers, people who want more out of life, people who want to tap into their true self. I know that this information is going to help them. And so chances are, if you're watching this video, you're eager for success. You want to be great at whatever it is that you're working towards. And sometimes you just might need the right guidance, or you might be looking for answers or just anything that will turn on that light bulb in your mind, or just light that fire inside of you. And this video here should hopefully do that for you, right? Accept that you are different, and accept that being different is okay. Just accept that right now, because sometimes that's what it'll require. It's not about doing what everyone else is doing, right? Because if you're doing what everyone else is doing, then you're well on your way to living an average life. And once again, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want, right? If it can very well be possible that you can be blissfully happy living that life, or it could be possible that that's what you want right now, and then when you get there, you may want more. You may want to live an extraordinary life, right? After you've already arrived at that goal of being in that living that normal life. So it's to each his own, but this one here is tailored to people who want to take that step forward and want to become more, want to accomplish more. It requires you to be different, and a lot of times it requires you to step away from being a consumer and focus more on being a creator, right? And creating things for other people, helping make other people's lives easier, helping solve other people's problems, providing value to other people. That will help propel you towards success, right? And of course towards joy, because then you can help people doing whatever it is that you're passionate about, right? So you can essentially carve out or make a living doing what you enjoy and what you're good at, which will effectively, ideally, you should have more fun at than just doing whatever occupation or job pays you, right? Because you'll be doing this, you enjoy doing this, so you do this free even if you have to. So just want you guys to understand that sometimes success requires just being different, just operating from a unique vantage point, doing things that you haven't done before from a completely different angle, because then you see things differently and you do things differently. I'm not trying to be anyone else doing this, and I understand me doing YouTube, me doing these videos. I understand this is just a start. I know this is just a start for what is that I'm going after and what is that I'm accomplishing. But I understand that this alone is already making me stand out from the rest of the crowd, because I know most people aren't doing this. And I know where I'm headed, and I know what I want to accomplish. So please use this video as motivation and a sign for you. If you're someone that needed confirmation of whether or not you should take a leap and start doing something that you've always wanted to pursue, let this video be that confirmation for you, right? Go out and give it a try. Don't always just take the safe route, which is what most people do, right? Because if you just take the safe route, then chances are you're most likely just going to stay in the same position for a good chunk of your life. And I'm sure many of you here are eager to continue progressing forward, right? Is it really that safe or fulfilling if the safe route is just going to keep you in the same spot, right? If there's opportunity to actually go after something and accomplish something worthwhile, right, that will make your life much more fulfilling and feel more accomplished taking another route, I think that might be the route that would light the fire in more people, that would have them feel more alive. So that's the video here for you guys about success. If you want to succeed, sometimes all it requires is just for you to be different. So, guys, it's Joel, and I'm out. See you guys for the next video.